Hey everybody, welcome to Serious Sunday. How was your week? Mine was pretty hectic. I've actually been spending a lot of my time over the last week trying to build up a nice big backlog for you guys because I'm going away from my house for a while, and I'm the one that does all the editing of our videos. So, got most of them done. This one is the last one that I need to record, and then it's just some editing and some uploading, and everything is going to be fine. So, you guys, assuming that everything goes without a hitch, should not even notice that I am gone. We're still here. All is going well. So I have been playing Elite Dangerous again recently. I know that, you really don't have the context for the again to really mean anything, but I was playing it a lot back when the game released. I was in the alpha and the beta, ostensibly, because I worked for Frontier when Elite Dangerous came out, but I was playing it a lot on my free time. I was addicted to this game. It was a experience unlike pretty much anything else that I had really had. There was a point in my life where I was playing a lot of space sims and things like that. I have an obsession with space and spaceflight and sci-fi, so this has kind of ended up being sort of a perfect game for me. It's this really sort of interesting and weird game because it does things in a way that are sort of contrary to, I guess the best way to describe it is common knowledge. It flies in the face of convention for game design in many ways. I mean, from the most basic sort of standpoint, Elite Dangerous is a very hard science fiction sim. Now, it's not so hard that it follows the laws of physics and things like that to perfection. You do have witch space and allowing you to use your jump drive to jump from one system to another and things like that. There's interstellar travel. There's the ability to go basically anywhere in the Milky Way galaxy. But at the same time, it does do things like give you the scale of the entire Milky Way galaxy. This game is insane, right? I couldn't necessarily even really believe it when I was working there and I saw exactly what it was. But there is a procedural simulation of the entire 400 billion star Milky Way galaxy that we inhabit. And you can fly anywhere in it as long as you have big enough jump drive, basically, to take you where you need to go. There was recently a screenshot on the Elite Dangerous subreddit, which I am still a member of, although not very active since I left Frontier. I guess I shouldn't say really left Frontier. They closed the office that I was working at. But since I was no longer employed there, and kind of took a hiatus from the game, partially because, it was kind of dredged up memories, and partially just because I had played the game so much that I'd kind of burnt myself out on it. But, there was somebody who got a screenshot, of having been basically teleported to a system by a Frontier Developments employee, who was part of their customer service team as sort of a birthday gift, to put them in a system not necessarily outside of the galaxy, but off in the Kepler, not Kepler, in the Fornax constellation, which is really, really far out. It's part of a dwarf galaxy that was kind of mostly gobbled up by the Milky Way galaxy way, way, way back in the day, obviously. It overlooks basically the entirety of the Milky Way galaxy. The next nearest star to the star that he happened to be at was 10,000 light years away. So you can only imagine, like, looking out over all of that. It must have been a really, really cool and sort of transcendental experience. But yeah, these are the kinds of things that I really, really liked about playing Elite Dangerous. What was interesting to me, though, and why I sort of say that it sort of flies in the face very much of a lot of sort of game design convention, is that this is a game that is not really based around any specifically compelling reward system, and the game is also not goal-oriented like you think it would be. There are obviously goals that you yourself can create, and if you're going to be playing the game and you're interested in getting into the game in sort of the long run, you're absolutely going to have to sort of learn to set goals for yourself. But there's not very much sort of Skinner box type, risk and reward type mechanics in this game. It doesn't really hold your hand. It doesn't really tell you what you need to do. It's getting better about that. If better is, the proper term for this, it is giving people much more guidance in the form of sort of more curated, although still procedurally generated missions. But that said, it is still not really telling you the way that you should be playing the game. It is letting you loose and telling you, go play in this massive 400 billion star sandbox. You can go wherever you want. You can be an explorer and find places. You can be one of those people who is out in some random arm of the galaxy that nobody else has gone to, so you can spell out your name in the galaxy map, in the stars. You can be a master trader, or you can... Now, I actually wasn't playing the game when Power Play came out, but you can influence, now at this point, the change of governments from one system to the next. You can pledge yourself to one galactic power and help further its sort of political goals. Although, one of the cool things that it does is that despite the fact that you are making a positive and sort of meaningful contribution to these galactic powers, you are ultimately a cog in a much, much larger machine. This is a game that, unlike its contemporaries like EVE Online, for example, doesn't put you in the role of a massive, sort of important figurehead in the universe. You can buy really, really damn big ships, but you're never flying a capital ship. You're never a general in the army, and you never own a star station, a space station, I guess is the right word. Unlike a lot of games, you're always a pilot, and you're always just working for the man, so to speak. You are working. You are a worker. You are an ant in the colony. And although you're making your contributions, you're just sort of a part of it. You're making small contributions. You're pushing ever so slightly, but enough people pushing in one way, these community goals things that they're doing, right? Enough people that are pushing are going to get what they want. And that's really kind of cool because it works on this massive scale. Every single player in the game is contributing to this in a way that I haven't really seen other games do. The detractors of this sort of a system are going to say, they really don't feel like they're important, and to be fair, they're not. This is a game that doesn't really hold your hand and tell you that you're the messiah of the universe, and, like MMOs like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV or something like that, where like you are the chosen one and you're like overly special and people really, really care about what you're doing. Like you do get more and more sort of positive reinforcement the more that you do something for a faction, but at no point in time are they like, oh my god, you're the Dovahkiin. You're the person that is going to deliver this this galaxy from the Thargoids or whatever, right? The Thargoids still haven't even been discovered at this point, right? As far as we know, they're not even in the game yet. Every time that the topic is broached, David Braben just sort of, winks and fingers his nose and is like, hey, you just keep looking around, guys. And so, I have no inside information about that, unfortunately, but there you go. So, like, this game doesn't reward you for doing things. Like, it gives you rewards, don't get me wrong. You're gaining money, and you're upgrading your ship. But you're working for that. You're just working for that. It's like, it's like your paycheck, really. There's no major sort of crescendos at all in the game, really, aside from those that you make for yourself. I was playing the game together with a friend very recently, and we were sent on an assassination mission against an NPC called Widger, and Widger turned out to be a little bit more than a handful for us because he had friends. And my friend, who was piloting an Eagle, wasn't ready when he got interdicted, and I was a little bit too far away to catch up with him, and so he killed my friend in my Eagle before I could even arrive there, and I couldn't save him in time, and so he got killed. And the mission that he had, that I also had, he lost, obviously, and so I was in there fighting Widger alone, and I couldn't take both of his friends either, and so it just kind of went south. And we both died, and we both lost our rebuy in credits, and then we had to go back out into space. And both of us said, together, okay, if we ever find Widger again, I know that this is just a procedurally generated NPC, that his name is just coming out of a database. So if we see him again, we are teaming up on this guy, and we were killing him. That sort of a thing. Like, it's all about these emergent stories and things like that, but the game is very much just a sandbox. Like, it doesn't really even give you that many toys to play with within the sandbox. It just kind of gives you the very basic tools and kind of lets you tell your own story, which is very, very interesting. So I've been finding that in my re-exploration of Elite Dangerous, and sort of reacquainting myself with just sort of the whole general system. I have the Lifetime expansion pass, so I'm trying out Horizons. I actually haven't touched the Engineers yet, but some of that stuff looks pretty badass, so I'll be getting to that eventually. It's an odd experience. It is a game unlike many others, it's not for everybody. I guess that's one of the really, really big things about this game. Like, it's popular. It's damned popular. A lot of people seem to like it, but it feels like one of those games that's going to be very, very polarizing. Like, my best friend hates it. He just does not enjoy the game at all, and I don't blame him for it. It's just not his cup of tea because he's a very sort of goals-oriented player, right? He feels like there's not enough to do for him, right? He's not going to set a goal for himself because, he feels like that sort of very slow burn reward structure isn't quite enough to keep him engaged with the game. Meanwhile, my other friend that we also play with is really into it. He's enjoying the hell out of it, and him and I going around and doing bounty missions and doing sort of cargo retrieval missions and stuff like that. We've been enjoying the hell out of ourselves because we're going together and we're saying let's do some bounty hunting. Let's be a bounty hunting team. I've got the kill warrant scanner and the and the wake scanner, and he's got the fast ship, so let's go kill some bad guys. and inadvertently piss off the police and get bounties on ourselves, and just sort of Dukes of Hazzard it around the universe a little bit, and that works for us. We're enjoying ourselves, but I'm interested in seeing where they continue taking this game. I lost touch with it about a year and a half ago, when I originally sort of stopped playing it. And and many things have changed, but at the same time, many things have also sort of stayed the same. But they are gradually introducing more and more things, and I am very interested in seeing where they take it. I do have to get my hands on a VR device. However, I had the opportunity to play it in Oculus, and it is just not the same sense. So, yeah, long-term personal goals, I guess. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you very much for listening. I know there wasn't a whole lot of point to this particular topic, but there you go. I'm playing Elite Dangerous. I'm enjoying it. It's really not for everybody. It does some strange things. I guess that's what we're taking home from this one tonight. But that is me. Thank you very much for listening. We just hit 200 videos. Milestone. Cool thing, right? Like, it has been a blast up to this point. Our numbers are a little bit down recently. I guess people are just kind of not, keeping track of sort of the middle of a couple of Let's Plays. We've been trying to sort of change it up recently. We just started a new series of Gold Rush. It's an old school Sierra text parser AGI game, which is really cool. You should check it out. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, yeah, if you're here and you have listened all the way to the end, you're probably one of the few sort of super fans that we have in the first place. So thank you very much for listening. I really appreciate you, whoever you are. You are the one, you're one of the ones that make it worth doing. So thanks very much for listening. Here's to another 200. Take care.